Time for sports. Myers here with that.
Start with a little hockey for you, Hudson. For many hockey fans in these parts, the playoffs pretty much ended when the LA Kings eliminated the Vancouver Canucks. But Port McNeill is full-on Kings country. Hometown hero Willie Mitchell is on the verge of helping the Kings clinch their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. The North Island community is giddy at the thought that hockey's most coveted cup could make an appearance in their town this summer. CTV's Chandler Greaves celebrated his 26th birthday with the good people of Port McNeill and brings us the story.
Perhaps contemplating his first ever appearance in a Stanley Cup final.
As Willie Mitchell takes a moment to soak it all in before his first ever Stanley Cup game, his hometown of Port McNeill is right there with him.
This whole town is just going berserk over this. It's terrific. There's nothing quite like it.
We're hoping that LA wins here and we can have a big parade and I can actually maybe have a beer out of the cup or something.
And that possibility is not too far away. Number 33 in black and white is enjoying a playoff run fit for a king. After a thrilling overtime victory last night in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, his LA Kings are now just 3 wins away from hockey's ultimate prize.
Once in a lifetime that happens. For Port McNeill, it would be awesome. For the North Island, it would be awesome to have the Stanley Cup in Port McNeill.
Vancouver Island may be predominantly Canuck country, and it was in Port McNeill when Willie suited up for the Nucks for 4 seasons. But that is now history, and for the 3,000 people that call this town home, it's all hail the Kings.
You know, I was cheering on the Kings right when the Canucks were playing them in the first round, and the kids, I was an outcast at first, but before you know it, we started hearing we want that cup in Port McNeill.
Now, Willie Mitchell may play for the LA Kings near Hollywood, but he's as down-to-earth as they get. Take this story, for example. A few years ago, this sign behind me used to say, "Welcome to Port McNeill, home of NHLer Willie Mitchell." But Willie, returning one summer, looked at the sign and said, "Hey, that's not right. There's a lot more to Port McNeill than simply me." He asked the city to change the sign, and they were happy to do so. It's tales like that one that make Willie Mitchell such a hit in his hometown.
Yeah, he makes a real effort to, to keep up with the community spirit and everything when he comes up here, and of course you can get him away from fishing.
Many in Port McNeill are taking their cues from Willie and taking it one game at a time. But if Lord Stanley's mug was to make its way to Port McNeill, it may be getting a little bit wet.
Back when Ottawa won it in the early 1900s or whatever, they threw it over the bridge in Ottawa, so we'll just throw it in a chuck. Not a big deal. We're the Nivkish River.
Fishing for the Stanley Cup off the waters of Port McNeill, I don't think Willie Mitchell would have it any other way. Chandler Greaves, CTV News, Port McNeill.